1-2 count. Here it is from Lumpkin. Swung on and missed. Ball game. Yorktown, semi-state champions. Here's the left side attack by Lodge. He sends it out of bounds. And the Yorktown Tigers, 2012 3A semi-state champions. They're going back to Worthing Arena. Takes his first pitch right back up the middle. Rounding third. Headed home is Jake Preston. And that's the ball game.
This is Katie Johnson.
This is Riley Miller.
This is Leslie Sargent.
Yorktown will hold on. The Lady Tigers, back-to-back Delaware County champions. Yorktown defeats Delta.
This is Riley Neal from the Yorktown Tiger football and basketball team. Your home for the Tigers at DelawareCountyVoice.com.
From the campus of Yorktown High School in Yorktown, Indiana, welcome to Tigers basketball on DCV, where tonight it's the final regular season matchup for the Yorktown boys basketball program. It's senior night as Yorktown takes on Mount Vernon in a Hoosier Heritage Conference matchup. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Alongside Tony St. Laban, I'm Robert Connett. As you see on your video screen right now, senior night activities taking place as the cheerleaders and the two basketball players being honored here before pregame ceremonies here at Yorktown High School. The cheerleaders being announced to the crowd, along with Bailey Miller and Zachy Barami, the two seniors on the boys basketball program this year. So we'll take a look at the senior class of 2014. And you can't forget the mascot, Tony. Tony Moody, the longtime mascot here at Yorktown High School, being honored as well. So great to see not just the two basketball players being honored, but the mascot and the cheerleaders as well here tonight on a special night. Not only the final regular season game of the 2013-2014 season, not only senior night, but a lot on the line for the Yorktown boys basketball team here tonight. As with a win here tonight against Mount Vernon, the Yorktown Tigers will be co-champions of the Hoosier Heritage Conference. Yorktown coming in with a record of 4-1. Pendleton Heights is already done with their conference schedule. They are 5-1. So if Yorktown can pull the victory here tonight against Mount Vernon, the Tigers are co-champions of boys basketball in the Hoosier Heritage Conference. Kylie Brumley and Hannah Palouche, the two managers, being honored as well here on senior night. The court being taken out by a good class of 2014 students here tonight. Some of the cheerleaders we know attending Ball State University. Some attending Hannah Palouche going to IU. We know one of the cheerleaders going to Belmont University. So a wide spectrum for this class of 2014. And now Zachy Barami being escorted to the floor. A few weeks ago, we got to speak with Zachy in a post-game interview, Tony, and that was the same night where he was honored by being a member of this year's AAA Insurance All-Academic team for the state of Indiana. So not only are these players great on the basketball court, but also in the classrooms as well, and that's always important.
Absolutely, and it's always fun to see someone that can be well-rounded like that. You know, they're great team players. They contribute a lot to the success of the program, but also are able to get their first responsibilities taken care of, and that is getting good grades and excelling, getting good grades, as Zachy has done. And good to see him as a senior, and also Bailey Miller and the rest of the seniors here getting honored in their final year of high school, now their final semester of high school. I know I just experienced this just about a year ago, and it's senior year of high school is very it's an interesting time. You know, you're on top of the world essentially as the top of the food chain in high school, and you've got a huge future ahead of you in college, and so it's good to see a night like tonight.
Zach Ibrahimi and Bailey Miller, the seniors on the basketball team, and the rest of the cheerleaders, managers, mascot, being honored here on senior night. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have the official pregame show right here on DelawareCountyVoice.com.
Do you ever think about going back to school for that degree you really need? I used to think about it all the time, and it was scary. I had no idea how to begin. Then I met Gloria, my personal admissions rep at Indiana Tech. She's an expert at getting you started and connecting you with the right people. She walked me through the application, made sure I knew all the deadlines, and explained my financial aid options. She also showed me how I could customize my schedule with a mix of online and classroom courses so that I could keep the job I have while I work toward a better one. It turns out going back to Indiana Tech couldn't be easier. They even mail you your books before your first class. If you're thinking about going back to school, go ahead. Take the first step. You can do it all online, over the phone, or in person with your personal admissions representative at Indiana Tech. Find out more at indianatech.edu/CPS.
It's a pretty basic philosophy. Serve hot food hot and cold food cold. Provide good food at reasonable prices and do it quickly in a friendly atmosphere. That's what you'll find at Richard's Restaurants, a family-owned and operated business serving communities in Northeast Indiana since 1967, offering home-cooked meals and daily features like their roasted chicken that is also available for carryout. Richard's Restaurant, good food, good service at a good value. That's their goal for every meal served.
For over 35 years, Biggs Property Management has been the leading authority on rental property, management of specialized housing including conventional housing, rural development, HUD, tax credit, and Section 8 communities. If you're looking for a rental, storage unit, affordable homes, apartments, and secure storage, stop by Biggs at 522 South 13th in Decatur or call 724-4616. Biggs Property Management has units in Ossian at Country Place, Country Squire Villas, and Jefferson Place Villas, in Bluffton at Lancaster Senior Apartments. Biggs Property Management, 724-4616. T.W. Fable, a modern American restaurant that sits on the banks of the Wabash with its farm-to-table theme. The menu changes seasonally, as does the decor. T.W. Fable obtains the freshest ingredients and the best produce around. T.W. Fable is an experience you'll truly remember with its seasonal martini list as well as its esoteric wine list. Reservations are recommended, but not mandatory. T.W. Fable is located at 360 North Main Street in Bluffton. Open for lunch Monday through Friday, 11:30 to 2. And dinner Tuesday through Saturday, 5 to 11. Visit twfable.com to make reservations or view their menus.
Let's talk about the X's and O's of family entertainment. Every parent in Indiana knows the importance of being able to draw up an activity that'll get you out of the house for a couple of hours. But it needs to be affordable. It needs to be family-friendly. Above all, it needs to be fun. Now, let's talk about high school sports. Bang for your buck, school sports provide the perfect game plan for your family. You'll enjoy all of the drama and excitement competitive sports offer. You'll be supporting the future leaders of our community in a meaningful way. Best of all, you can take the entire family without breaking the bank. Heck, you won't even dent it. Now, enough chalk talk. Let's get out there and see what's playing at the high school in your community. School sports. Good for our kids, good for our community. This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
We know the right way to get you where you need to go. We'll be the wheels underneath you, out on the road. We're driven to give you the best service. We're driven cause we know you deserve it. Stoops, we're driven to be the best. Stoops, we're driven to be the best.
You are already know the statistics. A college degree can open doors to a lifetime of better jobs and higher earnings. At Ancilla College, a degree is closer than you think.
This year, while most universities were raising tuition and other fees, Ancilla College lowered tuition 4.7%. You can earn a degree in nursing, education, or health science. With a student-to-faculty ratio of 10 to 1, you'll get personal attention at Ancilla, not giant lecture halls. Ancilla faculty get to know you and your goals.
Ancilla students save both time and money on high-quality, 2-year associate's degrees like business administration, logistics, and computer technology. Right here, close to home, near Plymouth, Indiana.
Find out more today at ancilla.edu or call us toll-free at 1-866-ANCILLA.
Ancilla College, your ticket to a brighter future is right here, closer to home and more affordable than you think. Visit ancilla.edu or call 1-866-ANCILLA to get started.
Everyone knows there is no such thing as an unlimited marketing budget. That's why it's important to make your advertising dollars stretch as far as they can. Maximize your advertising budget with Embroid Me of Muncie, providing professional, personalized promotional products that leave lasting impressions. From pins to tote bags and everything in between. Screen printing, embroidery, promotional products, spirit wear, and corporate wear. Embroid Me works with their clients to build and promote their brand. Embroid Me of Muncie, 3300 Everbrook Lane. Like them on Facebook for specials at Embroid Me Muncie. Located in Fort Wayne, Indiana, the University of St. Francis is a private Catholic university enrolling 2,300 students in majors ranging from the liberal arts to the creative arts to the health services. Small class sizes, personal attention, and the freedom to explore your options. A USF education has a lot to offer. Visit their beautiful campus and see for yourself how you can be a part of the University of St. Francis. Visit sf.edu to learn more about the University of St. Francis.
And welcome to the pregame show brought to you by the University of St. Francis here on DelawareCountyVoice.com. Robert Conant, Tony Sandlaven with you here. It's Friday evening as fans pack in the Yorktown High School Gymnasium for what is the final Hoosier Heritage Conference game of the 2013-2014 boys season. Yorktown coming in with an overall record of 14-4. They are 4-1 in the IHSAA. Mount Vernon having a struggling year, Tony. They are 9-12 on the year, 2-3 in the Hoosier Heritage Conference. And everyone's been talking about C.J. Coleman, one of the best stars of the Hoosier Heritage Conference. He's only played 11 games for the Marauders this season. He was suspended for the first 5 games, played the next 11 for Mount Vernon, averaged 22 points a game, which is top of the Hoosier Heritage Conference. And then a few weeks ago in the game against Noblesville, he broke his ankle. And so C.J. Coleman is out for the rest of the season, and that has really been hurting the Mount Vernon Marauders this year.
Well, anytime you lose a guy that's averaging 20 points or more per game, especially at this level, you're going to struggle. I mean, that's not someone you just easily replace. You know, the mentality always is next man up and that sort of thing, but when you're putting up numbers like that, it's really, really hard to try to replace it. I mean, you mentioned he was suspended the first 5 games. They went 1-4 in that stretch. And since he's been out, they've continued to struggle. And so, but that being said, this is not a team that you really want to overlook if you're Yorktown. You know, obviously they know what's coming for this game. They know what's riding on it. They want a share of that Hoosier Heritage Conference title. But this is a team, yeah, they're 9-12, but they've played teams like Hamilton Heights, and that was a loss. They played the number 3 team in 4A in Hamilton Southeastern and lost to them. You know, a lot of teams, Greensburg, another team they lost to, number 7 team in 4A, Richmond, they lost to. So, but at the same time, when you have a 12-loss year, you're going to lose some games that you probably shouldn't have. You know, Warren Central, probably a team they could have beat. Indy Howe, probably another team they could have beaten. You know, so it's a team that is inconsistent, but certainly not anyone you want to overlook.
And it's been a struggling year, not just with the absence of C.J. Coleman, but then their next 2 top scorers as well, Shepard and Werner. Shepard averaging 10.5 points per game. He is out He's been suspended because of academic reasons. And then you add into the mix Dan Werner, who's averaging 8.6 points per game. He actually quit the team to focus more on football for Mount Vernon in his career after high school. So Mount Vernon, your top 3 scorers this season are out of this game, out for the rest of the season. And once again, you've mentioned they have played some tough competition. Number 1, Greensburg in Class 3A. They lost to IHSAA. They've played Richmond, but they've also lost to some teams that they haven't. So it's one of those teams where Yorktown comes into this matchup knowing that they have their own mindset with the fact that they can tie for the Hoosier Heritage Conference title with a win here tonight. But you can't overlook Mount Vernon. Similar to the fact a few weeks ago, you can't overlook Shelbyville, a team that's kind of middle of the pack in the Hoosier Heritage Conference. Yorktown goes down to Shelbyville and loses to the Golden Bears in double overtime. Because of that loss, now instead of Yorktown outright winning the HHC, now the best that they can do is tie with Pendleton Heights. So Yorktown has their own outlook here tonight, but then again, Mount Vernon, one of those teams where you never know what can happen.
And not to mention, when you've got a team that is in your conference, there's always that rivalry. And you hear it all the time. Anytime you have a conference game, you kind of want to throw out all the statistics and just focus on these two teams are very familiar with each other. And so Mount Vernon really, in terms of standings in the conference, they don't have much to play for tonight. But at the same time, they know Yorktown, and they know Yorktown's a very good team. So they're fired up just for the fact that they could play spoiler tonight here in Yorktown. If they could come away with a victory and ruin Yorktown's dream of sharing the conference title, that would be huge.
It's been a good season for the Yorktown Tigers. Again, they're 14-4 on the year as they're coming off of a win against Blackford earlier this week, 55-33, a team that they could possibly see again in next week's sectionals at the Muncie Fieldhouse. But you go back to last weekend, that 53-51 loss to Wapahani. So they have lost to the Raiders twice this year. So 2 of their 4 losses this year have come against their rival from Delaware County in the Wapahani Raiders. You go back to that game, Caleb Morey finished the game with 20 points. Riley Miller had 11. So you need that type of performance once again in a game like this, a conference game against a Mount Vernon team that you never know what can happen. They are the underdogs to Yorktown here in this matchup, but then again, you never know. We've seen Yorktown play so many games this year where it has come down to the wire. Coach Miller and the Tigers know what to do in those types of situations. You never know if that can happen once again here against the Marauders.
Yeah, and that was something we pointed out in the Wapahani game, is that when it comes down to the clutch moments, it seems like Yorktown just knows what to do. And that's kind of been their style, keep it close, but then in the final minutes, do the right things and come away with the victory. And so you see that with, even the game against Wapahani was very, very close. Blackford, not so much. But you've also got, looking at the schedule here, you've got a win, especially early on in the season, 51-40, 56-57, very, very close games. And so if this game does end up being close in the final minutes, you would think Yorktown will be able to come away with it. Some things they have to take care of, obviously the easy things. Free throws are going to be huge in this game. Anytime you get an opportunity at the charity stripe in a conference game like this with so much on the line, you have to be able to take advantage. Also, not allowing presence in the paint. That's going to be something that Mount Vernon's going to miss with C.J. Coleman. He's a big guy. He's 6'3", and is obviously, when you average 20 points a game, you're getting a lot of those from the paint. So that's going to be something that Mount Vernon will miss, but also, they've had 5 weeks now to adjust. And that's going to be something Yorktown is going to have to try to prevent. Any kind of presence and drives inside, that will get points for Mount Vernon, and that could be a difference in this game as well.
We'll take one more time out. When we come back, we'll have your national anthem and the starting lineups. It's Hoosier Heritage Conference basketball, Mount Vernon and Yorktown, right here on DelawareCountyVoice.com.
Welcome to the world of Boomer Compact Tractors from New Holland. We know that buying a compact tractor is an exciting time and an important decision. Our goal is to answer your questions and give you the information needed to make an informed decision.
To learn more about New Highland compact tractors, visit New Highland Tri-County Incorporated on State Road 1 South in Bluffton.
Gooseneck trailers, equipment trailers, dump trailers, car haulers, landscape trailers, cargo trailers, custom trailers,
Welcome to I-69 Trailer Center, offering quality trailers at great prices. We have trailers to fit any cargo need. We can custom make a trailer to your design. Let our sales staff help you with your trailer selection. I-69 Trailers, located on I-69 at US 224, exit 86. I-69 Trailer has parts and accessories for almost any brand of trailer out there. I-69 Trailer, online at i69trailercenter.com.
The world of high school sports is filled with athletes who possess the eye of the tiger and whose focus and determination enables them to soar like eagles. The games themselves can't be played without a few zebras. Becoming an IHSAA official is a great way to be part of the action and to support Indiana's healthy tradition of high school athletics. Visit IHSAA.org and get in the game. This message brought to you by the IHSAA and the high schools in your community.
What do you do when you really need a degree to get a better job, but your life's already hectic? Between working full-time and helping out at home, there just weren't many hours left. I had no idea how I could go back to school until I met Shane, my personal admissions rep at Indiana Tech. He showed me how I could customize my schedule with convenient short sessions and online courses, so I could keep the job I have while I work toward a better one. He walked me through the whole process and helped me map out a fast track to the degree I need. And you know, Indiana Tech has the graduate and undergraduate degrees that are most in demand by employers. Areas like accounting, business administration, criminal justice, engineering, organizational leadership, and more. If you're looking for a better job or a whole new career, check out Indiana Tech. You can do it all online, over the phone, or in person with your personal admissions representative at Indiana Tech. Find out more at indianatech.edu/CPS.
Looking for a new smartphone? Come see us, Yorktown Wireless. We're worth the drive. Contrary to popular belief that an indirect store is more expensive, we'll put that rumor to shame. Yorktown Wireless can be found at 2209 South Broadway Street in Yorktown. Check your upgrade eligibility, browse our selection of phones, and talk to a representative about what options are available for you. Mention the promo code YTOWN1 to get the best deal available. Yorktown Wireless, 2209 South Broadway in Yorktown. Call them at 765-759-0800. Yorktown Wireless, 2209 South Broadway in Yorktown. Call 765-759-0800. Proudly providing internet service to DelawareCountyVoice.com.
There's just one place where students are students first, and athletics are played with purpose and perspective. That place is your local high school. High school sports offer more than the joy of competition. Studies show that student athletes in Indiana are also likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in other areas of their lives, including academics. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education. This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
The University of St. Francis in Fort Wayne granted $14 million in scholarships last year to students like you in Northeast Indiana. Our admissions team can help you discover scholarship options that may be of benefit to you. Whether you spend an hour or all day, let's have a conversation about your future. Tour the beautiful campus, meet professors, a coach, or sit in on a class. It's all available and individually tailored just for you. Arrange your customized USF visit at sf.edu/visit.
If an individual student athlete or team wins a high school state championship, it's an amazing thing. It's also just the icing on the cake. That's because young people in Indiana who participate in education-based athletics are already winners. Studies show that win or lose, participation helps to impart skills they can use to enjoy greater success in other areas of their lives. School sports teach the benefits of teamwork, the value of self-motivation, and the importance of accountability. They also help to foster stronger work habits and higher levels of self-esteem. In other words, the true value of school sports can't be measured in terms of wins or losses. If an individual or team goes to state, it's an incredible accomplishment. But regardless of the outcome, today's student athletes are already destined to go far. School sports, a winning part of a complete education. This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
warm-ups here on the Yorktown High School gymnasium floor. The Tigers looking to pick up their final conference win of the season and tie for the IHSAA championship. You take a look at the standings coming in. This is the final game of the Hoosier Heritage Conference schedule. Pendleton Heights is done with a record of 5-1. They are in first place. Yorktown at second with a 4-1 conference record. Shelbyville finishes at 4-2. New Pal finished at 3-3. The Marauders coming in at 2-3. Delta and Greenfield Central finished their HHC schedule with a record of 1-5. So again, Yorktown with the win can be co-conference champions with Pendleton Heights for the 2013-2014 season. As they get ready to shut off the lights, we'll focus our attention to the south side of the gymnasium for tonight's national anthem. Our good buddy Peter Hood, freshman from Ball State University, the PA announcer here, getting us ready for tonight's national anthem.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, if you would all please rise, remove your hats and face the flag as we honor our country with the playing of the national anthem, performed tonight by the Yorktown High School Pep Band.
There we have tonight's national anthem by the Yorktown High School Pep Band. The lights turned off, the spotlights going as they always do for every home boys game here at Yorktown High School. We get ready for tonight's starting lineups brought to you by the University of St. Francis. To learn more about the University of St. Francis or to register online, visit sf.edu or call their admissions office at 800-729-4732. The University of St. Francis in Fort Wayne, Indiana, proud sponsor on all 6 websites of the Voice Sports Network. The starting 5 for the Mount Vernon Marauders. Head coach Doherty, that is Stan Doherty, the head coach of Delta, his son, in his first year coaching the Mount Vernon Marauders. An overall record of 9-12. They're 2-3 in the Hoosier Heritage Conference. One starter for Mount Vernon tonight will be a 5'11 sophomore, number 10, Miles Wayer. With the top 3 scorers for Mount Vernon out, he has become the leader for Mount Vernon. He's averaging 8 points per game. 5'10 freshman, number 12, Michael Erdl, averaging 4 points and 1.5 rebounds, along with 2 assists per game, will be at the other guard. 5'10 senior, number 13, Alec Lohman, averaging 4.3 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 assists per game. And another forward, 6'3 sophomore, will be number 32, Michael Thompson. He's averaging 4 points and 4 rebounds per game. And rounding up a starting 5 for Mount Vernon will be number 52, James Stricker. Again, for Mount Vernon, it's Wayer, Erdl, Lohman, Thompson, and Stricker, with their top 3 scorers, Coleman, Shepard, and Warner, all out for tonight's contest. The starting five for the Yorktown Tigers, head coach Greg Miller, 14-4 this season, 4-1 in the conference. The two guards will be number 3, Caleb Morey, and number 11, Riley Miller. Morey averaging 13 points, Miller averaging 11 per game. The two forwards will be number 22, Carson Moore, and number 24, Jake Preston, both of them juniors. Carson Moore averaging 9 points, Preston averaging 7 points per game. And the big man down low, the center, number 32, 6'5 junior, Riley Neal, averaging 11.6 points and 8 rebounds, along with 3 blocks per game. Again for Yorktown, it's Morey, Miller, Moore, Preston, and Neal, the original starting five for Yorktown here tonight in the final regular season matchup of the year. As you get a look at the starters being announced. And there we have all 5 starters for both teams announced and ready to go here tonight in this final Hoosier Heritage Conference game of the 2013-2014 season. Again, I'm Robert Connett, Tony Sandlaven, our color commentator and cameraman here tonight. Be sure to follow us and interact with us tonight during the game on Twitter at Delaware Co Voice. You can also like our Facebook page, facebook.com/Delaware Co Voice. The Tigers trying to tie for the Hoosier Heritage Conference title with a win here tonight. Riley Neal going up against Michael Thompson for the tip-off. Thanks for joining us on DCV, and we're underway at Yorktown High School. Mount Vernon with the opening tip, and they'll set it up. Move it to the right side. That's Alec Lohman on the wing. Gets it to the top of the key. James Stricker. Now back over to Ertl on the right side. The freshman kicks it to the top of the key. That's Ware. Back to Ertl on the right wing, guarded by Carson Moore. Mount Vernon taking their time on this first position, working around the perimeter on the far side. That's Ware looking to drive inside. He's stopped. Passes out to the left side over to Lohman. Lohman hands it off to Thompson. The sophomore gets it over to Stricker. And now Ertl. Man-to-man defense for the Yorktown Tigers to start this game. In the corner is Thompson, looking to drive, kicks it out, three-pointer by Ware, and he hits it. Miles Ware, the sophomore, averaging 8 points per game, hits the three to give Mount Vernon the first lead.
And that was big right there for Mount Vernon. They were patient. They were able to pass the ball around efficiently around the arc. Never really got inside very much, but took the three, got points on the board.
And now Yorktown with their first offensive possession. Moore gets it over to Miller in the corner. Riley Miller averaging 11 points per game. He'll get it over to Morey. He'll try a three. Far side. He hits it to answer back. Caleb Morey, the leading scorer, hits his 42nd three-pointer of the season. We're tied up.
And Yorktown answers back in the exact same way. Passing around the arc, not getting all that aggressive on the inside, and then taking a three and sinking it.
2 minutes into the game, tied up at 3 between Mount Vernon and Yorktown. Ertl hands it off to Lohman, back to the freshman. Back to Alec Lohman, the senior, working it around. Now they get it to the right side. Ware, the sophomore. Once again, Mount Vernon taking their sweet old time on the offensive possession. They're averaging 53 points per game. Here's another three. This one for Lohman in the corner. And Mount Vernon retakes the lead 6-3. Quick answer back. Riley Neal underneath with the bucket. So Mount Vernon takes about 45 seconds off the clock. Yorktown answers back with about 2 seconds.
A good transition score right there for Riley Neal. He just took the ball and went right to the basket and scored. I didn't even get a chance to get the camera on him.
Jumper good for Michael Thompson, the sophomore, and now the offense is starting to click here as we're just underway. 3 minutes into the game, 8-5, Marauders on top. Miller controls it to Preston. They work it around to the right side. Now Moore on the wing. Carson pulls up the jumper, and it rims in for the junior. His first bucket of the game. Yorktown within one at 8-7.
And right now we're seeing some offensive rhythm on both sides. No shots have been missed thus far. And it's really been from long range, these shots, other than the transition basket by Neal.
Now Vernon working it around the perimeter once again. 4.5 to play. Driving inside, Ertl floats it up, missed it. And it's rebounded by Miller. Moore for three. That's no good. And a foul on the rebound. I believe it's going to go against Neal. Our first foul of the game, and indeed, it goes against Riley Neal, his first.
Riley Neal, that's his first and the team's first. In for Mount Vernon, 21, James McLeod.
Eight to 7, Mount Vernon leads it, nearing the halfway mark of this first quarter. Right side, Stricker swings it over to Ertl. Now Ware into the corner. Back around. Good ball movement on each possession here by the black and gold of Mount Vernon.
Both teams have really had good ball movement so far in this one. Neither team is really letting anything get inside. They've had strong perimeter defense on both sides. Both teams really taking their time, and both defenses are allowing both teams to take their time. There's not really much aggressiveness defensively going for tipping passes or trying to make a steal, other than right there.
Miller knocks the pass into the third row of the bleachers. 3:35 to play here in the opening quarter. Mount Vernon leading 8-7. Inbound will go to the backcourt for Michael Ertl. If you're just joining us, it's senior night here at Yorktown High School. Before the pregame ceremonies, it was Neal with the block. Yorktown the other way. Miller will bring it up. Now to Morey.
There's some excitement for the slow-paced game. Neal just making a statement there defensively and saying no.
Moore dribbled it along the baseline. That'll be a turnover for the Tigers. To finish my thought, senior night, Zach Ibrahimi and Bailey Miller, the two seniors, were honored before pregame. Timeout will be taken with 3:03 to play here in the first quarter. Mount Vernon leading Yorktown 8-7. We'll take the timeout with them. Be back in a moment right here on DCV.
T.W. Fable, a modern American restaurant that sits on the banks of the Wabash with its farm-to-table theme. The menu changes seasonally, as does the decor. T.W. Fable obtains the freshest ingredients and the best produce around. T.W. Fable is an experience you'll truly remember with its seasonal martini list as well as its esoteric wine list. Reservations are recommended, but not mandatory. T.W. Fable is located at 360 North Main Street in Bluffton. Open for lunch Monday through Friday, 11:30 to 2. And dinner Tuesday through Saturday, 5 to 11. Visit twfable.com to make reservations or view their menus.
Welcome back to Yorktown High School. Robert Conant, Tony Sandlaben with you here on DelawareCountyBoys.com. First timeout taken. 3:03 to play here in the first quarter. Yorktown trailing Mount Vernon 8-7. Both teams have just missed one shot so far. And a good offensive start for both teams. Lob pass inside the alley-oop, no good by Michael Thompson, but the putback by Alec Lohman. And that'll make it 10-7. Mount Vernon leads.
And there you just see the advantage of getting offensive rebounds. The first shot, no good. Mount Vernon staying under the paint, staying under the basket, got the ball back, put up another one, and got it in.
Preston drives inside the paint, floats it up, off the backboard, too strong, rebounded by the Marauders in transition. Here comes Alec Lohman, diving in between defenders and laying it in. Alec Lohman, the senior, now has 7 points, and Mount Vernon with their largest lead, up by 5.
Yorktown's going to have to do something to stop those transitions because stuff like that is going to be a huge difference in this game.
Morey for 3. That's no good from the right side. The putback by Preston. He draws the foul. And Jake Preston will go to the line to shoot 2.
And there you see the other side. Yorktown able to get the offensive rebound. And Preston able to draw the foul. Now has a chance to do something. We mentioned in the pregame, free throws are going to be key in this game.
Foul goes against James McLeod, 6'3" freshman. First free throw good for Jake Preston. He's on the board. Coming into this game, Preston shooting 71% from the free throw line. Got them both. Nothing but net. Jake Preston now with 2 points. He becomes the 4th Tiger to score already in this first quarter. Tigers trailing by 3. Under 2 to play here in the opening quarter. Lohman to the volleyball line. Ertl, the freshman, swings it to the left side. Thompson, nothing there. Back to Ertl. They'll try the right side with Weyer.
And once again, strong perimeter defense by the Tigers.
3-pointer short by Lohman. The offensive rebound. Mount Vernon with a second chance. Inside. Back out. Top of the key 3. That's off the side of the rim. No good for Ertl. The rebound to Yorktown with 1:15 to play here in the first. 12-9, Marauders lead. Preston brings it out of the corner from Miller, top of the key. Over to Moore, right side. Gets the pick from Neal. Takes a deep 3, off the rim, no good. Rebounded by the Marauders with under a minute to play. Weyer, right side, he'll pull up the 3. Nothing called, no foul, no shot made. The rebound, the putback, nothing there. Third chance finally in for the freshman James McLeod.
And again, Mount Vernon able to get those offensive boards, continuing to try to get points on the board. Just take one way to do it is just take shot after shot. Eventually one of them's got to go in, and that's exactly what we saw there.
25 seconds to play. Yorktown trailing by 5 here in the first quarter. Preston feeds it inside to Neal. Kicks it out. Riley Miller for a 3 on the wing. That's no good. And the rebound to the Marauders once again. 10 seconds left here in the first. Ertl will bring it across the timeline. Set up the quick offense. 5 seconds to play. Over to Weyer for 3 in the corner. Rims out. And that will end the first. Mount Vernon took control early. They've led this whole first quarter after 8 minutes of play. It's the Marauders 14, Yorktown 9. We'll be back with the second quarter after this on DCV.
You already know the statistics. A college degree can open doors to a lifetime of better jobs and higher earnings. At Ancilla College, a degree is closer than you think.
This year, while most universities were raising tuition and other fees, Ancilla College lowered tuition 4.7%. You can earn a degree in nursing, education, or health science. With a student-to-faculty ratio of 10-to-1, you'll get personal attention at Ancilla, not giant lecture halls. Ancilla faculty get to know you and your goals.
Ancilla students save both time and money on high-quality, 2-year associate's degrees like business administration, logistics, and computer technology. Right here, close to home, near Plymouth, Indiana.
Find out more today at ancilla.edu or call us toll-free at 1-866-ANCILLA.
Ancilla College, your ticket to a brighter future is right here, closer to home and more affordable than you think. Visit ancilla.edu or call 1-866-ANCILLA to get started.
To 9, Yorktown trailing Mount Vernon as we begin the second quarter here at Yorktown High School. As we're waiting on a 5th player, it looks like Chase Kennedy will check into the game for Yorktown, but we're waiting on him to, not exactly sure what was going on. I don't know if they had to tape up his finger. He was over there with McNamara, the athletic trainer here at Yorktown. He's good to go. So you got Miller, Morey, Preston, Moore, and Chase Kennedy, the 5 Tigers on the floor to start this second quarter. Tigers trailing by 5 They were 3 of 5 from the floor in that first quarter. Moore gets it to Preston, top of the key, looking to drive. Back to Moore, corner 3 on the way. That's off the mark. And a foul on the rebound. It will go against Mount Vernon.
And one thing we didn't mention in the pregame show, Rob, that could be a key in this game, it's something we have talked about a number of times this year, is that when bench players for Yorktown come in, generally the production seems to go down a little bit. And you'll find that with really any basketball team, but in this case, it's very noticeable. And so a lot of times you'll see Coach Miller rest his starters early in the game to make sure they're fresh for when the game matters most at the end.
And we saw that in the Wapahani game last weekend. Came down to the wire. He had all 5 starters back on the floor in the final minutes of that game. That's been the theme all year long. And you're right, Tony, about there's definitely a gap between the 5 starters for Yorktown and then the bench players. 3 on the way. That's off the front of the rim. No good for Weyer. Rebounded by Preston. Tigers will bring it the other way. Miller to Morey on the near side. Miller looking to drive. Nothing there. 6:40 to play here in the first half. Inside, Miller, and a foul going to be called inside the paint against the Marauders on defense as Miller ran into a brick wall, that brick wall being Miles Weyer.
And we see Mount Vernon.
They actually called that against Michael Thompson.
You see Mount Vernon's coach looking for an explanation. He didn't see it. Bit of an interesting call.
So Yorktown will inbound underneath their own basket. They get it to Moore. Kick it to Morey, top of the key. Back to Miller, left wide. Falls in, and he traveled. Got double teamed as he went towards the paint and walked.
And now all of a sudden we're seeing a bit of a lack of offensive rhythm in this second quarter. The game was slow in the first, but for the most part, both teams were productive. So you wonder if that might change here in the second.
Lohman looking to drive, kicks it out. Stricker with the jumper from the right side. He hits it for his first 2 points, and Mount Vernon now up 16-9 with 6 minutes to play here in the first half. Moore top of the key, gets it to Miller. Back to Preston, fakes the 3, pass to Morey inside the paint. He got tripped up, and they're actually going to call a jump ball. Possession arrow will belong to the Marauders. So here in the second quarter, Yorktown struggling to get inside the paint, and Tony, it goes back to the fact that you put those bench players out, not saying it's Chase Kennedy's fault, but Riley Neal was not in there on the floor 2 possessions in a row. Yorktown can't find an answer inside. And now Neal will enter back into the game for the Tigers.
And that's something that's been an issue for the Tigers essentially all season long, and it's been a big problem, something they've been continuing to try to work on. We saw a little bit of balance in the Wapahani game. Unfortunately, that game did end up being an unfortunate loss for the Tigers, but you know, if they can achieve that kind of a balance and get the clutch things they needed that they couldn't get in that game, that's when you start to see a winning formula, and I think that's what Coach Miller is trying to mimic and improve upon as the season ends here tonight and as sectionals come along.
A foul going against James Stricker on the rebound for Mount Vernon. So Yorktown has it. Trey Cates has checked in. He controls it. Pass over to Moore. And now Neal. .5:15 to play. Yorktown looking for their first point of this second quarter. And the turnover. Mount Vernon with the steal. Lohman will bring it the other way for Mount Vernon. Over to Stricker once again. Far side of the floor. He'll pass out to Ertl, the freshman. And now to Deckard, who's checked in. Under 5 to play here in the second quarter. 16-9. Marauders lead.
And Yorktown continuing to step up defensively, not allowing much to the inside.
Stricker, another jumper right side. He airballs that. picked up by Trey Cates. Yorktown the other way with 4:25 to play.
I have a feeling this next basket, the Yorktown student section, is going to go crazy.
Boom! There. Oh, Caleb Morey with a deep three to make it 16-12. 4:10 to play.
Yep. Guess that wasn't what the student section was going to do.
Yeah, I would have exploded.
Yeah, definitely.
That was a deep three by Caleb Morey, and there we go. Moore getting pushed around. I should say doing the pushing. He will be called with the foul.
A lot of times you'll see student sections generally stay pretty quiet in a basketball game until the 10th point is scored for their team, and that's when they just go nuts. And I wondered if maybe that's what the Yorktown student section was doing, but now the Tigers with 12 and still not as much enthusiasm as you'd expect. So we'll see.
Under 4 to play until halftime. Yorktown trailing by 4. Stricker near the free throw line, hands it back to Lohman. Drives inside, floats it up, and it's good. Alec Lohman, the senior, now with 9 points here in the first half. He's averaging just 4 per game. Mount Vernon leads 18-12. Morey gets the pick from Neal. He'll pull up another three. Hits it again from the right side. Caleb Morey with his third three of the night.
And Morey showed off what he was able to do against Wapahani. He had a number of three-point shots that were good in that game. And he ended up really contributing, as you mentioned in the pregame show, Rob. He had 20 points in that game. Looks like he's on pace for another similar performance here tonight.
He now has 44 three-pointers on the year. Gets Yorktown back within 3 as Mount Vernon controls it with under 3 to play. Left wing. That's Weyer. Guarded by Trey Cates. Tries to drive inside. Kicks it out right side. Deckard. Yorktown able to get back on defense. No damage done with 2.5 to play till halftime. Three-pointer for Deckard. Short. Gets his own rebound. He came from nowhere with a putback. Wow.
Talk about an individual effort. Everybody, Mount Vernon and Yorktown, just lost track of him after he took that shot. It was almost like I wonder if he missed it on purpose. He just came up, got his own rebound, and then took the shot and got more points on the board for Mount Vernon. That was very impressive.
James Stricker with an obvious foul there as he kind of held on to Riley Miller's chest. That'll be Stricker's second. He'll be replaced by Thompson, who checks back in for Mount Vernon.
Yorktown needs something to happen on this possession here. Get back in rhythm.
Neal has the ball popped out of his hands. The steal. Miller steals it back for Yorktown. Gets the loose ball and calls the timeout. Good save there. Wow.
Another nice individual effort, both by the Mount Vernon defender to pop the ball out of Neal's hands, and then just the aggressiveness by, I couldn't even tell who that was able to get the ball back, but good break there for Yorktown.
20-15, Mount Vernon leads. We'll keep it here during the timeout. You get a look at Coach Miller talking to his boys during this timeout. Caleb Morey, the leading scorer for Yorktown. He has 9, all from beyond the arc. Alec Lohman also with 9 to lead Mount Vernon. They have led this entire game. We've had one tie at 3-3. Besides that, Mount Vernon has led. Yorktown has not been in control this first half.
And you wonder if maybe what Coach Miller was telling his guys down there, just calm down. You know, the emotions of it being senior night seem to be kind of distracting the team a little bit, and it's showing an effect on their performance. So if they can get their emotions in check and realize it's just a basketball game, things could start going their way.
Miller hands it off to Morey. 1:40 to play till halftime. Tigers trailing by 5. Preston Spin around, off the glass and good. Nice move by Jake Preston, his first field goal of the game. Yorktown trails by 3 with 90 seconds to play in the first half.
And that was something Yorktown really wanted to see happen. An offensive possession where rhythm occurred, things went right, and they got the points on the board. Now you might start to see them get comfortable in this game, knowing what's on the line, and get things going in that direction.
Foul away from the ball going against Mount Vernon. It's number 32, Michael Thompson, picking up his second foul. That's the 6th against Mount Vernon, so Yorktown will now be in the bonus for the remainder of this first half. You got 1:15 remaining, and the Tigers have a chance to tie with a 3-ball on this possession. Miller at the volleyball line. Pass back to Moore, looking to drive inside. Off Preston, it goes to Morey. He'll feed it inside to Jake. He lost the handle of it, picked up by Mount Vernon with under a minute to play.
And that time just sloppy ball handling, it looked like. Preston just kind of lost control of the ball. The Mount Vernon defenders are right there to pick it up, and it calls a turnover.
Thompson controls it left wing, 40 seconds to play. Fakes the handoff, he'll keep it. And now pass over to Deckard, the senior, near the volleyball line. 30 seconds left here in the first half. Student section getting into it. Final 20 seconds. Morey with the steal. One-on-one to the basket. Lays it in. Caleb Morey with 11 points here in the half. Yorktown trails by just 1 with 10 seconds to play.
And Caleb Morey seems like a guy who is on a mission. He wants to win this game. He has been showing some great moves, great offensive playmaking in this first half, and it's made a difference.
Top of the key 3 at the buzzer, no good. And at the end of the first half, Yorktown trailing Mount Vernon by just 1, 20-19, your halftime score. We'll take a commercial break. Your halftime report coming up next, right here on DelawareCountyVoice.com.
Located in Fort Wayne, Indiana, the University of St. Francis is a private Catholic university enrolling 2,300 students in majors ranging from the liberal arts to the creative arts to the health services. Small class sizes, personal attention, and the freedom to explore your options. A USF education has a lot to offer. Visit their beautiful campus and see for yourself how you can be a part of the University of St. Francis. Visit usf.edu to learn more about the University of St. Francis.
Looking for a new smartphone? Come see us, Yorktown Wireless. We're worth the drive. Contrary to popular belief that an indirect store is more expensive, we'll put that rumor to shame. Yorktown Wireless can be found at 2209 South Broadway Street in Yorktown. Check your upgrade eligibility, browse our selection of phones, and talk to a representative about what options are available for you. Mention the promo code YTOWN1 to get the best deal available. Yorktown Wireless, 2209 South Broadway in Yorktown. Call them at 765-759-0800. Yorktown Wireless, 2209 South Broadway in Yorktown. Call 765-759-0800. Proudly providing internet service to DelawareCountyVoice.com.
For over 35 years, Biggs Property Management has been the leading authority on rental property, management of specialized housing, including conventional housing, rural development, HUD, tax credit, and Section 8 communities. If you're looking for a rental, storage unit, affordable homes, apartments, and secure storage, stop by Biggs at 522 South 13th in Decatur or call 724-4616. Biggs Property Management has units in Ossian at Country Place, Country Squire Villas, and Jefferson Place Villas, in Bluffton at Lancaster Senior Apartments. Biggs Property Management, 724-4616.
Interact with Delaware County Voice through social media. Like us on Facebook, simply search Delaware County Voice. And be sure to follow us on Twitter at Delaware Co-Voice. We'll let you know of any breaking news from the schools in the county, when our next broadcasts are, and post updates during the games. DelawareCountyVoice.com on Facebook and Twitter.
At the Yorktown Public Library in the Youth Service Department, there's something for everyone, from preschoolers to high schoolers. Preschoolers, we have story time on Wednesdays at 10 a.m. and 1 p.m., Thursdays 10:30 a.m. You'll enjoy story, song, finger plays, nursery rhymes, and crafts. Elementary kids, Tuesday evening is your library night, starting at 6 p.m. for Lego Club, followed by Reading to the Dogs, concluding at 7:30. Middle and high schoolers, the teen scene is for you on the second and fourth Fridays of each month from 4 to 5 p.m. for snacks, crafts, games, and discussions. Visit Yorktown Public Library, 8920 West Adeline Street, or call 765-759-9723, or visit yorktownlib.org.
What do basketball, choir, drama club, and marching band all have in common? They're all high school activities that offer learning opportunities not necessarily found in the classroom. They take up just a fraction of a typical Indiana high school's budget, and they go a long way to giving young people the tools they need to thrive. High school activities, they're more than extracurricular. They're extra important, too. This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Gooseneck trailers, equipment trailers, dump trailers, car haulers, landscape trailers, cargo trailers, custom trailers.
Welcome to I-69 Trailer Center, offering quality trailers at great prices. We have trailers to fit any cargo need. We can custom make a trailer to your design. Let our sales staff help you with your trailer selection. I-69 Trailers, located on I-69 at US 224, exit 86. I-69 Trailer has parts and accessories for almost any brand of trailer out there. I-69 Trailer, online at i69trailercenter.com.
What do you do when you really need a degree to get a better job, but your life's already hectic? Between working full-time and helping out at home, there just weren't many hours left. I had no idea how I could go back to school until I met Shane, my personal admissions rep at Indiana Tech. He showed me how I could customize my schedule with convenient short sessions and online courses, so I could keep the job I have while I work toward a better one. He walked me through the whole process and helped me map out a fast track to the degree I need. And you know, Indiana Tech has the graduate and undergraduate degrees that are most in demand by employers. Areas like accounting, business administration, criminal justice, engineering, organizational leadership, and more. If you're looking for a better job or a whole new career, check out Indiana Tech. You can do it all online, over the phone, or in person with your personal admissions representative at Indiana Tech. Find out more at indianatech.edu/CPS.
We know the right way to get you where you need to go. We'll be the wheels underneath you, out on the road. We're driven to give you the best service. We're driven cause we know you deserve it. Stoops, we're driven to be the best. Stoops, we're driven to be the best.
At the Yorktown Public Library in the Youth Service Department, there's something for everyone, from preschoolers to high schoolers. Preschoolers, we have story time on Wednesdays at 10 a.m. and 1 p.m., Thursdays 10:30 a.m. You'll enjoy story, song, finger plays, nursery rhymes, and crafts. Elementary kids, Tuesday evening is your library night, starting at 6 p.m. for Lego Club, followed by Reading to the Dogs, concluding at 7:30. Middle and high schoolers, the teen scene is for you on the second and fourth Fridays of each month from 4 to 5 p.m. for snacks, crafts, games, and discussions. Visit Yorktown Public Library, 8920 West Adeline Street, or call 765-759-9723, or visit yorktownlib.org.
The University of St. Francis in Fort Wayne granted $14 million in scholarships last year to students like you in Northeast Indiana. Our admissions team can help you discover scholarship options that may be of benefit to you. Whether you spend an hour or all day, let's have a conversation about your future. Tour the beautiful campus, meet professors, a coach, or sit in on a class. It's all available and individually tailored just for you. Arrange your customized USF visit at sf.edu/visit.
Special presentation going on here at halftime here at Yorktown High School. Yorktown senior Hunter Decker officially being sworn in to the armed services. And we'll bring that to you right here during halftime on DelawareCountyVoice.com.
We will send it down to Major Wiring on the court for Hunter's swearing-in ceremony. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear
Congratulations to Hunter Decker being sworn into the U.S. Army right here in front of everyone at Yorktown High School. Congratulations to that young man and what he will be doing for our country after he graduates here at Yorktown High School. That is awesome.
That was really cool.
Halftime score here at Yorktown. It's Mount Vernon leading the Tigers 20-19. The Tigers actually outscored Mount Vernon 10-6 in that second quarter, but definitely a difference, Tony, between that first quarter and the second quarter. Very offensive rhythm to both teams in that first quarter. Then the second quarter, it kind of got a little sloppy.
Yeah, it really did. And, you know, the first quarter seemed like it almost had the feel of a defensive game because things were moving really, really slowly. But each time the team had the ball, they scored. So that was what contributed to a good number of points being put on the board in the first quarter. The second quarter was the only difference was it was still a slow-paced game, but the production wasn't there. You know, you saw Jake Preston just seemed to have lost control of the ball. Mount Vernon had a similar issue. A couple of things, you know, issues such as missed shots, you know, looks that were there, but the shots were no good. Turnovers became an issue. A couple more fouls were called, and it contributed to much more of a defensive second quarter and a tale of two scores, a tale of two quarters as far as the score is concerned. So things you got to watch out for, obviously, turnovers. Yorktown's got to take better care of the basketball. They have to score when they get the opportunity. And, you know, something that just really seemed to be an issue throughout the entire first half was Yorktown seemed to be on this emotional high, whether it was the fact that it was senior night, whether it was what's riding on this game. You know, a lot of things are coming into play here, and it really affected how the team played. So if they can just kind of calm down in the locker room here at halftime, come out a bit more poised and focused in the second half, we should see things go much more smoothly in their way in the second half.
Good thing that went for Yorktown in that second quarter. Caleb Morey kind of took matters into his own hands. He has 11 points here at halftime. Again, he's averaging 13 per game, 11 at the break, and 3 threes helping that total in the first half. And it's good to see, you know, that's kind of been the theme. There's been two themes for the Yorktown boys basketball program this year. Is sometimes when they play games against opponents that are kind of a lesser value, they kind of play down to their opponent. Yorktown was the favorite here to win this game against Mount Vernon. They're trailing. They have not led yet in this game. So there's one theme. The second theme is you usually see 1, 2, maybe 3 guys for Yorktown kind of have an outstanding performance, whether that be double digits, a double-double. So far, it's just Caleb Morey with 11. The rest of the scores for Yorktown at halftime. Preston has 4, Moore with 2, Neal with 2. And that's it.
And that's something that's going to have to change in the second half. I mean, especially a guy like Riley Neal. We talk about him every game all year. He is the guy for this team. He is the leader. He is the production both offensively and defensively. And you want to see him get more involved in this game plan. You know, it's great that Morey is coming up with these points, but, you know, I've done a couple of Delta games as well, and they have a player, Jalen Robinson, who put up 31 points in one game, and they lost because that was it. There was no one else that was contributing. It was simply, I mean, you have a couple of guys that put up maybe 4 or 6 points, but it was 31 points, and then I think the next highest scorer had 9, if I remember right, in that game. So, you know, it's great that Caleb Moore is showing up and he is doing his part, but you want to see, if you're a Yorktown fan, see the rest of the team step up as well, whether that be Riley Neal, whether it be Carson Moore, you know, somebody to relieve the pressure from Caleb Morey, because balance is what wins games. You have talent, you have 1 or 2 players that'll get things done, but if you have a balanced attack offensively, that is what wins basketball games, and that's what Yorktown needs to get to here in this game.
Again, your halftime score 20-19, Mount Vernon on top of the Yorktown Tigers. We'll take one more break. Your second half coming up after this on DelawareCountyVoice.com.
Welcome to the world of Boomer Compact Tractors from New Holland. We know that buying a compact tractor is an exciting time and an important decision. Our goal is to answer your questions and give you the information needed to make an informed decision.
To learn more about New Holland compact tractors, visit New Holland Tri-County Incorporated on State Road 1 South in Bluffton.
This is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in Indiana. This is sportsmanship. School sports. It's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Interact with Delaware County Voice through social media. Like us on Facebook, simply search Delaware County Voice. And be sure to follow us on Twitter at Delaware Co-Voice. We'll let you know of any breaking news from the schools in the county, when our next broadcasts are, and post updates during the games. DelawareCountyVoice.com on Facebook and Twitter.
Mount Vernon leading Yorktown as we get ready for the second half here at Yorktown High School. Robert Conant and Tony Sandlaven with you on DCV. Thanks for joining us this Friday evening. Again, if you're not following us on Twitter yet, well, you're out of the loop. You need to do that. At Delaware Co-Voice. And I believe we're up to we're nearing the 900 follower mark on Twitter for Delaware County Voice. So we are 29 away. If we can get that before the end of basketball season, let's make that our goal. We'll do that. Spread the word. If you're tuning in tonight, follow us on Twitter at Delaware Co-Voice. We'll try to hit 900 followers before the end of basketball season. Next week's sectionals start up. Yorktown will take on Delta in the first game of the first round. That will be played at the Muncie Fieldhouse, 6 o'clock on Tuesday night. We'll have the broadcast for you right here on DCV. The winner of that will play Blackford in the semifinals on Friday, and then the sectional championship to be played next Saturday night at the Muncie Fieldhouse. Muncie South considered the host this year, but they will play all the games at the Muncie Fieldhouse in what is the final school year ever for Muncie South High School. So kind of a cool way to go out in that style, hosting the boys sectional this year. Third quarter underway. Yorktown with the ball, trailing by 1, trying to get their first lead of the entire night. Miller and his pass deflected and stolen by Thompson. Mount Vernon the other way, left side. Ware swings it around. They get it to Lohman, who is the leading scorer for the Marauders with 9 in that first half. Now in the left corner, Thompson driving in, floats it up over Neal, too strong. The rebound to Riley Miller. He'll bring it across the timeline for the green and white. Again, Morey was the leading scorer with 11. Here's Miller, the jumper, no good. Preston with the rebound, the putback and one.
And there finally we see Yorktown able to get some offensive rebounding, and right there you see the difference that it can make. And that was something we didn't mention in the halftime report, Rob, but Mount Vernon in the first half was very, very good at getting offensive boards, and Yorktown really didn't. So right there you see the advantage that can do.
Free throw good by Jake Preston. He's 3 of 3 from the charity stripe. Yorktown with their first lead of the night at 22-20. As we're a minute into the third quarter. Stricker hands it off. They swing it around to the left corner. That's Thompson, guarded by Preston. Out to the top of the key. Ware looking to drive inside. Back to Thompson, the jumper. And it rims out. Fight for the rebound. It goes to Ware. He'll kick it out. Top of the key. 3, good. Michael Ertl, the freshman, with his first bucket of the game. Mount Vernon back on top, 23-22.
And right there we saw Yorktown thought they had the ball secure, so the entire team went to the other side of the court, and all of a sudden the turnover occurred, and Mount Vernon's player right there was just completely left alone for the wide open three, and that's the difference that it made.
Miller feeds it inside to Neal with his layup. So here we go, back and forth to start this third quarter. Yorktown retakes the lead, 24-23. Riley Neal with just 4 points in this game, and a travel by Stricker as he couldn't control the pass near the half-court line.
Looked like it was just one of those. He was running really, really hard to try to save the ball from going to the other end of the court, and that speed and momentum, he just couldn't quite stop himself. Ended up taking a couple of stutter steps to slow down, and they'll call that every time.
So Yorktown has a chance to extend their lead here on the possession. Moore, foot on the line, deep two, no good. Preston with the offensive board. And they're going to say Jake Preston walked after the rebound. So turnovers by both teams there. They trade it back and forth. Mount Vernon will get it back. 24-23 as Coach Miller still on the sidelines trying to explain to the referee that that was not a travel. We'll have a travel there. Michael Thompson converting the turnover. So 3 in a row now by the teams.
So we go from trading baskets to start the second half now to trading turnovers.
Michael Thompson will have a seat. James McLeod will check in for the Marauders. 5.5 to play here in the third. Yorktown leads it 24-23. Neal, top of the key. To Morey. Now Miller over to Moore, right side. Feeds it inside to Neal. One-on-one off the glass, and it rims in. There we go. Tony, we talked about how Riley Neal, Yorktown fans want to see him get more involved as he just had 2 points at halftime. Already 2 buckets here in the third. Here's a three. Unleashed, no good for Lohman. Rebound to Preston. He got poked in the eye. He'll hand it off to Miller across the half-court line. Inside, Neal once again too strong with the layup this time. Offensive rebound. Morey, 3. Hits it again.
Are
His
you
fourth
kidding
of the
me?
night. Oh, my goodness.
Caleb Morey has just shown up here tonight. A 4 3-point performance so far. That is absolutely amazing.
4th 3 of the night. Yorktown opens up the second half on a 10-3 run. Timeout, Mount Vernon. We'll be back on DCV.
It's a pretty basic philosophy. Serve hot food hot and cold food cold. Provide good food at reasonable prices and do it quickly in a friendly atmosphere. That's what you'll find at Richard's Restaurants, a family-owned and operated business serving communities in Northeast Indiana since 1967, offering home-cooked meals and daily features like their roasted chicken. It is also available for carryout. Richard's Restaurant, good food, good service at a good value. That's their goal for every meal served.
10-3 run for Yorktown. Back to action after the Mount Vernon timeout. 4.5 to play here in the third quarter. The floater good for James McLeod. His 4th point of the night. Makes it 29-25. Yorktown quickly working back on offense. Moore, and he got pushed. That'll be Miles Wayer's first foul of the game.
And a good call there, Miles Ware. Not really sure what happened there, if he just kind of lost track of what was in front of him, but almost looked like he ran full steam into Carson Moore. Unbelievable.
Morey with his 5th 3 of the night. 32-25, halfway through this third quarter.
I think I got a new game plan for Yorktown. Give it to Caleb Morey beyond the arc.
Too strong on the layup. The putback, though, good for James Stricker. That'll make it 32-27. Moore across court to Morey. He'll try another 3. Hits it again! Caleb Morey! third three of the quarter.
He is making this look easy.
35-27. Caleb Morey has 20 points. The answer back there by James McLeod. Let's see what Yorktown does on this possession. Preston, right side. Kicks it over to Moore. Now Morey, left wing. Back to Moore. Inside to Neal, tipped around. Miller gets it. He finds a way to fight it in. Riley Miller with his first 2 points of the game.
What an effort there by Riley Miller. He was surrounded by black jerseys. Somehow he just popped up and lobbed the ball into the basket. That was incredible.
37-29. Yorktown leads it with 2:40 to play here in the third. Ertl controls it with Miller on D. Now McLeod to Ware in the corner. Near the top of the key, Ertl gets it into the corner. 2:18 to play. Ertl drives inside, and we'll have a foul called on defense.
And there you see Mount Vernon able to get a little bit of a drive in the inside, and most of the time that's what will happen. You'll drive to the paint, you'll try to get to jumper range, layup range, and try to draw a foul as you make the shot. And right there it worked for Mount Vernon.
Riley Miller with his first foul, inbound, and drawing the foul there was James McLeod. Let's see who they gave it to. This one will go against Trey Cates. That'll be his first.
That one looked like it could have gone against a number of people. There was a lot of contact with the offensive player there. James McLeod. I'm getting better with these names, really I am.
First free throw good for the freshman. He now has 7 points. Coming in, a 69% free throw shooter, knocks them both. And he has 6 points here in the quarter alone. Moore, his pass deflected out of bounds.
And plays like that, even though it doesn't result in a turnover because the ball was tipped by Mount Vernon out of bounds, even something as simple as that, just tipping the ball and knocking it out of bounds, will disrupt the offensive rhythm, and that can be a win for the defense.
Under 2 to play here in the third. 37-31, Yorktown leads it. Miller in the corner, gets it to Neal. He'll get it over to Moore. Carson looking to drive. Stops at the free throw line, hands it off. Bailey Miller for 3. Senior misses it. Rebounded by Mount Vernon. Corner 3. In and out for Ware. The rebound. Miller drives up the court. And his pass deflected out of bounds by Mount Vernon. Yorktown will inbound from the sideline.
Good to see Bailey Miller in the game. Senior getting some time on senior night.
Three-pointer! This one for Riley Miller in the corner. That's 4 threes in the quarter for Yorktown. They lead at 40-31. McLeod hands it off to Ware. 1:05 to play here in the third quarter. Yorktown has put up 21 points here in the third quarter alone. Ware fakes the jumper, hands it off to Ertl. He'll take a 3. That's no good. Offensive rebound for McLeod. Put back. That's too strong. Put back again. Fight for the loose ball. Still fighting for it, and they will call a foul against Yorktown with 47.3 seconds.
That foul seemed like it could have gone either way. There were players all over the ball just trying to get possession back for their team.
Foul went against Miller, his second. That deep two, no good for Ertl. Rebounded by Neal. He'll get it to Miller. Push it up the floor. Moore, left side, driving strong. Off the glass, no good. Cates draws the foul on the putback. Trey Cates will go to the line to shoot two.
And a great effort there by Trey Cates. Going up, getting the offensive board, and immediately putting the shot back up with Mount Vernon defenders draped all over him. Great way to get a foul drawn and get an opportunity at the charity stripe.
Trey Cates trying to get his first point of the game. 79% free throw shooter on the season. He hits the first one. So Trey Cates on the board. It's a 10-point lead for the Tigers with 32.8 seconds to play here in the third.
Now you see you have 3 bench players in for Yorktown. Chase Kennedy just came in, so you have Chase Kennedy, Trey Cates, and Bailey Miller all playing.
And here's Zachy Brahmi. He'll replace Riley Miller. The student section goes crazy as the senior here on his night. Both Zachy Brahmi and Bailey Miller, the 2 seniors, on the floor for Yorktown as they lead by 11 here in the third quarter. Left side, Ware, guarded by Brahmi. 17 seconds. Ertl will wait for it. 10 seconds to play here in the third quarter. 42-31. In the corner, three-pointer for Ware, and he hits it. His second 3 of the night. Half court at the buzzer, no good for Moore. We'll head to the fourth. Yorktown trying to win a share of the conference title. Tigers lead it 42-34 as we'll get ready for the fourth quarter coming up right here on DelawareCountyVoice.com.
There's just one place where students are students first, and athletics are played with purpose and perspective. That place is your local high school. High school sports offer more than the joy of competition. Studies show that student athletes in Indiana are also likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in other areas of their lives, including academics. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education. This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
The University of St. Francis in Fort Wayne granted $14 million in scholarships last year to students like you in Northeast Indiana. Our admissions team can help you discover scholarship options that may be of benefit to you. Whether you spend an hour or all day, let's have a conversation about your future. Tour the beautiful campus, meet professors, a coach, or sit in on a class. It's all available and individually tailored just for you. Arrange your customized USF visit at sf.edu/visit.
Back with you here at Yorktown High School. The Tigers leading Mount Vernon by 8 as we begin the fourth quarter. Caleb Morey back onto the floor for Yorktown as a foul away from the shot being called. Caleb Morey has 20 points in this game, 18 of them from beyond the arc. That is a season high 6 3-pointers in this game. As that foul went against McLeod, his third, Yorktown will get the ball. Preston drives in, stopped, pulls up the shot, blocked, gets the ball back. Looking to hand it off to Morey. Loses the handle of it, picked up by Ware. In transition, here's Mount Vernon. Floating it up, good. 42-36.
And a big swing there for Mount Vernon, able to take advantage of the sloppy ball handling all around. Transition baskets are killer, absolute momentum killers in this game.
Mount Vernon is not out of this, as Yorktown only leads by 6. They scored 23 points in that third quarter as Riley Neal lays it in. He now has 8 on the night. Three-pointer, no good, but a foul going to be called. And Ware will go to the line to shoot 3.
And Coach Miller strongly disagreed with that. I didn't get a shot of it on the camera, but he is not happy with that call.
So Riley Neal picks up his second foul. Weyer to the free throw line. 84% free throw shooter on the season. And he misses the first one.
There's something you won't see very often.
Second, good. Weyer, the sophomore, we talked about him in the pregame show with Mount Vernon, their top 3 scorers of the season out for the rest of the year. Weyer has become the leader, averaging 8 points per game. That's now what he has in this game. 44-38, Yorktown leads it. And a push foul going to be called. This one against Michael Ertl. The freshman will pick up his first. Morey controls it. Pass over to Preston, looking to drive inside. Jake off the glass, rims in. Jacob Preston now with 9 points in the game. Yorktown 46-38. Driving all the way coast to coast. Michael Ertl too short on the layup. Rebounded by Yorktown. Miller going one-on-one. Drives all the way to the hoop with the layup.
And now we're seeing offensive balance. What I talked about in the halftime report, that offensive balance. You know, Caleb Morey had a great first half, and he's continued here in the second, but now other players offensively, Riley Neal, Riley Miller, they've stepped up and have now gotten more production on the other side.
Steal by Neal in transition. Miller gets the bump. They'll call a charge. Coach Miller off of his seat on the bench does not agree with that. I don't know how you call that a charge.
I didn't see that either.
He kind of went in for the shot sideways. Didn't even really look like a charge. But they will call it against Miller, his third. So Mount Vernon has it, trailing by 10. 5:40 to play here in the ballgame. Top of the key three for Weyer, off the mark. Fight for the rebound. Ball still loose, picked up by Morey. And he'll bring it the other way for the Tigers. 5.5 to play. Miller looking to do something with it. Looking to drive. Hands it off to Morey. Gets away from his defender. Miller back to Morey, drives inside and lays it in. Caleb Morey with 22 points here in the game. Yorktown leads 50-38.
Caleb Morey just cannot miss in this game. Every shot it seems like he is taking has gone in. What a night he is having.
A career or a season high. Caleb Morey with 22 points. As we'll have mass substitutions. Ben Conti is in. Bailey Miller is in. All right, maybe not mass substitutions. But Bailey Miller and Ben Conti check in for the Tigers. Caleb Morey will have a seat as he has a season-high 22 points in this game, including 6 3-pointers. Yorktown leads by 12. Neal. Back out. Miller. He'll try a three. That's off the front of the rim. No good. A strong rebound there by Stricker. Mount Vernon the other way. Weyer looking to go coast to coast, and he draws the foul.
Now at this point in the game, you have two different perspectives of the clock. You've got Yorktown holding this great lead. The clock cannot move any slower. Versus Mount Vernon, they've got to mount a big comeback now, and the clock seems like it can't move any faster.
Weyer misses the first free throw attempt. Carson Moore will have a seat. Trey Cates is back into the game for the Tigers. 4:34 to play here in the fourth quarter. Yorktown trailed at halftime 20-19, but they scored 23 points in the third quarter. Second free throw good by Weyer. He now has 9. Mount Vernon will take a timeout. It's a full timeout. We'll take it with them. 50-39 with 4:34 left on DCB.
High school sports. Pure spirit, pure sport.
Pure determination. Nothing is going to stand in the way of my becoming the best student athlete I can be.
Pure spirit, pure sport.
Pure leadership. I don't just play an important role on my team. I play an important role in my community.
Pure spirit, pure sport.
Pure sportsmanship. I recognize the attitude counts, and that being a good sport is the only way to play.
There are plenty of ways student athletes in Indiana demonstrate the values of high school sports. At the Indiana High School Athletic Association, we salute each and every one of them. The IHSAA, pure spirit, pure sport.
Pure effort.
Pure dedication, pure Indiana.
This message made possible by the IHSAA and the high schools in this community.
.34 to play here in the fourth quarter. Yorktown leading 50-39 after the Mount Vernon timeout. We're back to action. Tigers with the ball. Miller across the half-court line. Neal's pass goes over the head of Conti. Bailey Miller tried to save it from out of bounds, but the referee said he hit the sideline. And that will be a turnover for Yorktown.
Now we're seeing Mount Vernon implement a full-court press, which is a great way to try to get a turnover while you're still on the other side of the court. And there are multiple ways of doing that. You can try to get the steal, or you can prevent them from crossing the half-court line in time before drawing a penalty.
Weyer trying to drive inside. He's stopped by Ben Conti. Here's a three-pointer off the mark for Ertl. Miller with the rebound. Under 4 to play here in the ball game. Yorktown leads by 11. And again, with the win, they will tie for the Hoosier Heritage Conference title. Trey Cates, jumper, short. Rebounded by Lohman. He'll bring it up for the Marauders. Pass over to Ertl, the freshman. Feeds it into the corner for McLeod. Baseline against Cates. Kick out, quick pass, three-pointer Weyer, short. And the rebound of Ben Conti. Timeout going to be called by Coach Greg Miller. 30-second timeout. 50-39, Yorktown leads it. They're 3:28 away from a share of the IHSAA title on DCV.
Everyone knows there is no such thing as an unlimited marketing budget. That's why it's important to make your advertising dollars stretch as far as they can. Maximize your advertising budget with Embroid Me of Muncie, providing professional, personalized promotional products that leave lasting impressions. From pins to tote bags and everything in between. Screen printing, embroidery, promotional products, spirit wear, and corporate wear. Embroid Me works with their clients to build and promote their brand. Embroid Me of Muncie, 3300 Everbrook Lane. Like them on Facebook for specials at Embroid Me Muncie.
Gotta love the life that we live in.
3:25 to play here at Yorktown High School. The Tigers lead by 11. Back to action after the timeout. Preston inside the paint. Bounce pass to Moore into the corner. Now for Morey. Quick passes around for the Tiger offense. Miller back to Moore. Left wing. Three minutes to play here at Yorktown High School. Tigers lead 50-39. Five starters back onto the floor for Yorktown. Pass inside to Preston. Trying to get it to Neal, and he got fouled from behind.
And Mount Vernon kind of had a couple of breakdowns here as the game has gone on, but for the most part, their defense, their perimeter defense has really prevented Yorktown from getting any kind of presence inside the paint. But the transition baskets and also Caleb Morey's threes have made the biggest difference in this game.
Morey with a season-high 6 threes and 22 points. The steal by Weyer, but the referee said he carried it. Mount Vernon fans not happy about that. I didn't really see it.
I didn't see it either. That was an interesting call.
So Yorktown will get it back underneath their own basket with 2.5 to play. Inbound goes all the way out to Caleb Morey. Pass over to Miller on the right side. Now to Neal, top of the key. Riley over to Carson. Now Jake Preston. Quick passes around the perimeter for Yorktown. Moore will decide to drive in. Can't get it to float, but he does draw the foul, and Carson will go to the free throw line to shoot 2 for the first time tonight. Carson Moore only with 2 points in this game.
That's very interesting.
He's only 14 of 17 from the charity stripe this season. Make it 15 of 18 as he hits the first.
And, Carson Moore he's a heck of a shooter. He does put up a number of points for this team, and so I suppose when you do have the kind of balance that Yorktown's had in this game, somebody eventually, you'll have most of the time at least one person that doesn't quite put up the numbers they're used to, and I guess tonight it's Carson Moore.
Good look inside. Weyer with the assist. Stricker with the layup. Makes it 52-41 with under 2 to play. Now Moore, he's averaging 9 points a game. He has 4 here tonight. But again, when you have somebody go off like Caleb Morey has tonight, that's kind of where your offensive production is, leaving less for the rest of the team. He's the only Tiger in double digits. Morey, that is, with 22. Jake Preston has 9. Riley Neal has 8.
Now you just got precious time taken away from the clock for Mount Vernon. That's something. Mount Vernon's defense is very focused on waiting until the offense makes a mistake and then capitalizing. Unfortunately, with Yorktown, they don't make that many mistakes offensively. So
Neal drives in for the dunk! And there it is, the second Tiger in double digits, under a minute to play, and that was the exclamation mark. McLeod with the jumper. He has 10. Timeout going to be taken by Mount Vernon, but Yorktown is 49 seconds away from a share of the conference title. They lead 54-43. It's a full timeout, so we'll take it with them. Back in a moment with a final 43 seconds of the game on DCB.
At the Yorktown Public Library in the Youth Service Department, there's something for everyone, from preschoolers to high schoolers. Preschoolers, we have story time on Wednesdays at 10 a.m. and 1 p.m., Thursdays 10:30 a.m. You'll enjoy story, song, finger plays, nursery rhymes, and crafts. Elementary kids, Tuesday evening is your library night, starting at 6 p.m. for Lego Club, followed by Reading to the Dogs, concluding at 7:30. Middle and high schoolers, the teen scene is for you. On the second and fourth Fridays of each month from 4 to 5 p.m. for snacks, crafts, games, and discussions. Visit Yorktown Public Library, 8920 West Adeline Street, or call 765-759-9723, or visit yorktownlib.org.
Hey, if you're looking for a smartphone, Yorktown Wireless is worth the drive. They're located at 2209 South Broadway Street. They'll see what is the best option for you. Yorktown Wireless Center, proud sponsor on DelawareCountyVoice.com. 49.3 seconds to play. Yorktown leading by 11. They trailed the entire first half. They took their first lead early on in the third quarter. Neal goes in with another jam! He was waiting for it. 56-43, and we're down to the final 35 seconds.
Another exclamation point from Riley Neal, and that time just a great offensive look. He was all alone under the basket. Yorktown offense was able to find him, and just, man, what a play.
Rebound to Miller. 18 seconds. Yorktown. Fans on their feet as the Yorktown Tigers are going to win here tonight against Mount Vernon, and they will be 2013-2014 co-champions of the Hoosier Heritage Conference. Buzzer will sound. Yorktown finishes the regular season with a record of 15-4. They finish 5-1 in the IHSAA.
Exciting win for Yorktown. First off, winning on senior night in general is just extremely exciting, and now add to that, you get a share of the conference title. Great night to be a Tiger.
56-43 the final. Yorktown wins here on senior night. We'll take a timeout. Coming up next, your post-game show right here on DelawareCountyVoice.com.
Do you ever think about going back to school for that degree you really need? I used to think about it all the time, and it was scary. I had no idea how to begin. Then I met Gloria, my personal admissions rep at Indiana Tech. She's an expert at getting you started and connecting you with the right people. She walked me through the application, made sure I knew all the deadlines, and explained my financial aid options. She also showed me how I could customize my schedule with a mix of online and classroom courses so that I could keep the job I have while I work toward a better one. It turns out going back to Indiana Tech couldn't be easier. They even mail you your books before your first class. If you're thinking about going back to school, go ahead. Take the first step. You can do it all online, over the phone, or in person with your personal admissions representative at Indiana Tech. Find out more at indianatech.edu/CPS.
We know the right way to get you where you need to go. We'll be the wheels underneath you, out on the road. We're driven to give you the best service. We're driven cause we know you deserve it. Stoops, we're driven to be the best. Stoops, we're driven to be the best.
You already know the statistics. A college degree can open doors to a lifetime of better jobs and higher earnings. At IHSAA College, a degree is closer than you think.
This year, while most universities were raising tuition and other fees, IHSAA College lowered tuition 4.7%. You can earn a degree in nursing, education, or health science. With a student-to-faculty ratio of 10-1, you'll get personal attention at IHSAA, not giant lecture halls. IHSAA faculty get to know you and your goals.
IHSAA students save both time and money on high-quality, 2-year associate's degrees like business administration, logistics, and computer technology. Right here, close to home, near Plymouth, Indiana.
Find out more today at nsilla.edu or call us toll-free at 1-866-NSILA.
IHSAA College, your ticket to a brighter future is right here, closer to home and more affordable than you think. Visit nsilla.edu or call 1-866-NSILA to get started.
If an individual student athlete or team wins a high school state championship, it's an amazing thing. It's also just the icing on the cake. That's because young people in Indiana who participate in education-based athletics are already winners. Studies show that win or lose, participation helps to impart skills they can use to enjoy greater success in other areas of their lives. School sports teach the benefits of teamwork, the value of self-motivation, and the importance of accountability. They also help to foster stronger work habits and higher levels of self-esteem. In other words, the true value of school sports can't be measured in terms of wins or losses. If an individual or team goes to state, it's an incredible accomplishment. But regardless of the outcome, today's student athletes are already destined to go far. School sports, a winning part of a complete education. This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
let's talk about the X's and O's of family entertainment. Every parent in Indiana knows the importance of being able to draw up an activity that'll get you out of the house for a couple of hours. But it needs to be affordable. It needs to be family-friendly. Above all, it needs to be fun. Now, let's talk about high school sports. Bang for your buck, school sports provide the perfect game plan for your family. You'll enjoy all of the drama and excitement competitive sports offer. You'll be supporting the future leaders of our community in a meaningful way. Best of all, you can take the entire family without breaking the bank. Heck, you won't even dent it. Now, enough chalk talk. Let's get out there and see what's playing at the high school in your community. School sports. Good for our kids, good for our community. This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
The world of high school sports is filled with athletes who possess the eye of the tiger and whose focus and determination enables them to soar like eagles. The games themselves can't be played without a few zebras. Becoming an IHSAA official is a great way to be part of the action and to support Indiana's healthy tradition of high school athletics. Visit IHSAA.org and get in the game. This message brought to you by the IHSAA and the high schools in your community.
This is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in Indiana. This is sportsmanship. School sports. It's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Everyone knows there is no such thing as an unlimited marketing budget. That's why it's important to make your advertising dollars stretch as far as they can. Maximize your advertising budget with Embroid Me of Muncie, providing professional, personalized promotional products that leave lasting impressions. From pins to tote bags and everything in between. Screen printing, embroidery, promotional products, spirit wear, and corporate wear. Embroid Me works with their clients to build and promote their brand. Embroid Me of Muncie, 3300 Everbrook Lane. Like them on Facebook for specials at Embroid Me Muncie.
Have you heard? Winning isn't everything. Championships are great, but there's more to sports than separating the world into winners and losers. The way we play matters too. The choice is simple. You can choose gamesmanship, or you can choose sportsmanship. Gamesmanship is another way of saying whatever it takes. You know the types. They taunt their opponents. Throw the occasional elbow for good measure. Whatever it takes to gain the upper hand. Sportsmanship relies less on underhanded tactics and more on things like strategy, skill, and smarts. It's less about stooping to trickery and more about rising to the occasion. Gamesmanship or sportsmanship? Both can lead to victory, but only one represents the true measure of a champion. Play like a champion. Practice sportsmanship. This message brought to you by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the high schools in your community.
Interact with Delaware County Voice through social media. Like us on Facebook, simply search Delaware County Voice. And be sure to follow us on Twitter at Delaware Co-Voice. We'll let you know of any breaking news from the schools in the county, when our next broadcasts are, and post updates during the games. DelawareCountyVoice.com. On Facebook and Twitter. Post-game show on DelawareCountyVoice.com, brought to you by Stoops Automotive. For the best deals on used cars in Indiana, look no further than Stoops Automotive Group in Muncie. All vehicles at Stoops have been tested for your safety and your satisfaction. Stoops Automotive, driven to be the best. 56-43 the final score here at Yorktown High School. The Tigers finished the regular season 15-4. 5-1 in the conference, co-champions of the HHC. And we're now joined by head coach Greg Miller here in the post-game show. Coach, a great win and a great way to finish out the regular season here tonight.
It was a heck of a grind, just like all our conference games are. In this conference, you have to grind and have to find a little gap where you can make some noise. And fortunately, through the third quarter, Caleb Morey got hot, and we were able to extend the lead a little bit, and we were able to play the way we needed to play down the stretch and get the ball where it needed to be, and just had a heck of a second half.
And that's kind of been the theme all season long. You kind of touched up about how the conference games kind of all felt like the same type of final score, coming down to the wire. We've had lots of games like that. You went overtime with Greenfield Central in a win. You went double overtime in a loss to Shelbyville. And
double overtime in Pendleton.
Yep, that's right. And another hard-fought win here tonight against Mount Vernon. Take me through that third quarter and Caleb Morey just going off. You guys trailed that entire first half and a quick start to that third quarter. What was your message to the guys in the locker room?
Well, my message was just some concept things about our offense. I thought we were settling for just maybe reversing the ball one time and then looking for our shot. We weren't passing ahead in transition very well. Credit to Mount Vernon's defense. We weren't moving the ball enough. We were dribbling it a lot, and I thought that made them faster than us and better than us and able to guard us, and it just things were sticking. And once our guys started setting some screens a little bit deeper in the paint and reversing the ball, and some things started freeing up.
Coach, coming into this game, you're going against a team where their top three scorers didn't play, whether that be injury, suspension, or just flat out moving on to other things. How do you prepare for something like that when the top three guys aren't there?
Well, we should have beat them a little bit more, shouldn't we? I tell you, that's what this conference is. I mean, the schools like Mount Vernon with the personnel and the talent they have, they can lose their top three guys and still be good enough to beat you. And that's what makes this season so special for these guys, and being able to get this win and be on top of our conference, because the conference is so good. Now, as far as preparation, they lost Coleman early, got him back. They went through a stretch where they were struggling. Then they lost their freshman and to academics, I think, maybe. So we got to see them 3 out of their last 4 games. Whether we were playing, I had somebody on the road follow them around. And we got to see them 3 or 4 different times in different types of games. One was Richmond, New Pal. One was Westfield. And we really concentrated on personnel and what maybe some of their habits and their patterns were as a team, and then try to come out and guard them best we could. And, the scary part is all these freshmen and sophomores are going to be really good one day at Mount Vernon, and they're just going to keep getting better. So there's a challenge for us to try to stay up in the race.
And it helps that your starting 5 this year were all juniors, so they come back as well. But here tonight, not only a special win because of tying for the conference title, but also to get it on senior night for Zachy Barami and Bailey Miller. Can you just tell us your overall thoughts on those 2 guys this entire season?
Well, going back to what you said in your comment, I know there's the 5 juniors play a lot, but you saw what we could and couldn't do in county, and we've gotten past that. And we can't give Caleb a break, we can't give Riley a break, we can't give Riley Neal a break. We couldn't give Carson a break. We couldn't give Jake a break at Christmas. And right now we can, and that's because of Chase Kennedy and Trey Cates and Bailey Miller and Zachy Barami and Ben Conti and the steps they've taken in practice to be able to get better. I've coached those guys probably harder than anybody, if not as hard as everybody else, because they're here for a reason, and we need to be able to use them. And next week's going to be a true test to our depth, because we can't play 5 guys, 6 guys, and win 3 games against the talent in our sectional. So, you're going to see some rotations and getting guys in and out, and they need to come in and be able to take care of the ball and produce and know the things we're trying to run offensively and defensively, and they're doing that right now. So I'm proud of them. As far as 2 seniors go, I don't know if Zachy has won a conference in soccer. I don't think Bailey's won one in anything else. In being the small dog in our conference by a few hundred kids, sometimes 1,000 kids, pretty special deal for those guys. And I'm excited for them. I'm happy that through their hard work and dedication and loyalty, regardless of situation, they're able to celebrate a championship for us.
So another congratulations to the guys. A special night here tonight. And now, Coach, you kind of touched up on the fact that sectionals start up next week, Tuesday against Delta in the first round. Game being played at the Muncie Fieldhouse Tuesday night, 6 p.m. right here on DCV. And you've gotten to play Delta already this year, knowing that type of game, what they have, and the fact that everyone here in Delaware County knows that that is a big rivalry. What are your thoughts going into that first round of sectionals?
Well, it's hard to say right now. I mean, we know who Delta is. Delta knows who Yorktown is, and the personnel that's involved. And, you got to go out and play. I mean, they're not going to give us a win, and nobody's going to write it off and just advance us for showing up and because we beat them. And that's been a long time ago. Seems forever ago that we played them in Christmas. They're a lot like us, I think, athletically. They match up pretty well with us. So it's going to be a little bit like tonight. We're going to have to execute. We're going to have to be really good. We're going to have to be patient in some ways. We're going to have to push in some ways. And we're going to have to try to do what we do, and that's try to get baskets early. And if we can't get it early, then we're going to have to execute and be smart and strong with it. And then defensively, we're going to have to be sound. There were some things tonight that we didn't do very sound that we've been working on, like extending some screens for shooters on doubles and communicating through ball screens and handoffs, and those things we didn't do very well tonight. So that's something we're going to have to sit on tomorrow at practice and Monday.
So a quick night to enjoy this victory, right back to work tomorrow. Coach Miller joining us here in the post-game show. Coach, congratulations on the win. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks a lot, guys. I really appreciate you guys being here. I've said it before, not too many high school teams get the opportunity to put their kids in a media situation, and you guys do a first-class job. We appreciate it.
Hey, we appreciate it as well. Thank you very much, Coach.
Thank you.
Coach Miller joining us here in the post-game show as Yorktown defeats Mount Vernon 56-43, the final score. Again, Yorktown finishing the regular season 15-4, 5-1 in the Hoosier Heritage Conference, co-champions. And I believe, Tony, it's just the third time that Yorktown boys basketball has won a conference. So this is huge for the program. And a congratulations going out to the boys here tonight in a hard-fought win, winning by 13.
Yeah, absolutely, and a great game overall. I mean, we saw a relatively defensive, at least a defensive second quarter. First quarter, there was a lot of offensive rhythm, but it was a very evenly matched game. And you mentioned multiple times in this game, Rob, that Yorktown never led in the first half, and then second half was a completely different story. So good to see Yorktown fight through a little bit of adversity in this game, get a win on senior night, and more importantly, get a share in that conference title.
56-43, the final here tonight on senior night. Yorktown with the win, and we talked to Coach about the theme when it comes to Yorktown and their conference games all year long, winning in overtime against Greenfield Central, down to the wire against New Pal, winning by 4. They won in overtime against Pendleton Heights. They lost in double overtime to Shelbyville. They got the win at Delta early on this season, and now a hard-fought win here against Mount Vernon. And it's great to see that this schedule has come to an end for the regular season, and now Yorktown enters a very tough sectional where Hamilton Heights is ranked in 3A. Muncie Central is a good team. Yorktown, one of their 4 losses on the season opener came against Muncie Central, so you got that on your shoulders. The fact that you have to open up the sectionals against your rivals from Delta, the Eagles are going to try to avenge that loss from the regular season. Lots going into this Tuesday night matchup for the Yorktown Tigers. They kind of have a target on their back because even though, Coach made a good point, you can't just write it off that Yorktown's going to the championship, but I think a lot of people can agree that Yorktown has the easiest path to that sectional championship, with the fact that Muncie Central and Hamilton Heights are on the lower bracket. They'll have to eventually play each other. Yorktown takes on Delta, who won tonight against Blackford. They finished the regular season 10-11. Blackford, Yorktown just beat earlier this year, has the bye. Yorktown, if they beat Delta, will play Blackford. And then if they can win that Friday night in the semifinals, they have the championship on Saturday night. So, it's no secret. It's kind of one of the easiest paths compared to Hamilton Heights and Muncie Central, the other two favorites in this sectional. But you can't just write it off, kind of like what Coach said. You're going to have to fight hard against Delta because the Eagles are going to come out strong. Blackford's going to come out strong if you make it to the semifinals because both those teams are trying to get revenge on you.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Coach brought up a great point. The first round of sectionals pitched two teams that are, they know each other like the back of their hands. And so whether it be it is Yorktown against Delta, and every time those two teams play, it doesn't matter what it is. It's always very exciting. You always see intensity. Both teams want to win no matter what the record is, no matter what the stakes are. The one thing that matters is it's Yorktown against Delta, so it's never easy when those two teams play each other. And then to get past that round, you mentioned it, Rob, going against Blackford. They beat them pretty handily in the last time these two teams played. And, any team has pride, and you never want to get beat like that. And so going against them, a lot of emotion will be riding in that game. A lot of pride will be at stake. But all that being said, this is why sectionals and tournament play is never considered easy. There's difficult, and then there's a little bit less difficult, but it's never easy because a lot's riding on it. A lot of things are going through. The records of the teams show, okay, yeah, Yorktown kind of has the quote-unquote easier path to the championship, but you never want to call it easy, and I'm sure Yorktown will not be looking as Delta or Blackford as doormats in any way.
When they played each other in the regular season, Yorktown won at Delta 51-40, and it will be a rematch Tuesday night in the first round of the sectional. So again, here tonight, Yorktown wins 56-43. Caleb Morey with a season-high 6 3-pointers, a season-high 22 points to lead the Yorktown Tigers here tonight. Other scores, Riley Neal finished in double digits with 12. Jake Preston had 9. Riley Miller with 7. Carson Moore with 4. And Trey Cates finished with 2. For Mount Vernon, leading them tonight was the freshman, James McLeod. He had 8 points in the second half. He finishes with 10. Miles Wayer finished with 9. He also had James Stricker with 6. Michael Ertl with 3. And then Michael Thompson, Caleb Deckard, each with 2 for Mount Vernon. They finished their regular season 9-13, 2-4 in the Hoosier Heritage Conference, and they have to play Richmond first round of their sectional, a team that they lost to already this season. For Yorktown, again, 15-4 is the record that they will take entering Tuesday night sectionals against the Delta Eagles. Broadcast right here on DelawareCountyVoice.com. Thanks for making us a part of your Friday night activities here on DCV and following us all season long. Sectional start up Tuesday. For Tony Sandleben, I'm Robert Conant. Good night.